Today, we made it up to Chapter 5 on our Garry Kitchen GameMaker manual. This is exciting. We're getting there. We're talking about the SoundMaker today. So grab your Commodore 64 and a joystick. And let's keep going. Hey, Ben, take it away.
I'm ready to go, Charles. It's time for Chapter 5, which is all about the SoundMaker. Introduction. Using sound effects can help create the feeling of excitement in your programs and games. There are dozens of sound effects already created and saved on the second side of the GameMaker disk. They are listed in alphabetical order in the catalog when you load a sound effect. For a complete list, see page 102 at the back of the manual. Sounds are often used as rewards in a game, says Garry Kitchen. If someone does something good, they should get either a graphic reward or a sound reward. As far as conventional programming goes, he continues, sounds are a difficult concept to grasp, technically. You constantly wish you could just turn the knobs on your computer and see what happens. The SoundMaker program lets you do just that. You can just sit and turn the knobs and see how it sounds. The SoundMaker screen to load the SoundMaker program. 1. Make sure side 1 of the GameMaker disk is inserted, label up, into your disk drive. 2. Select the menu command. Or select Quit and then Menu. 3. Select SoundMaker from the GameMaker main menu. When the program finishes loading into your computer, you'll see the SoundMaker screen. The SoundMaker screen. The following is an illustration of what you will see on your screen. The SoundMaker program closely resembles a soundboard used by professional recording engineers. The SoundMaker commands help you create the sound effects. The knobs let you control the minimum and maximum strength of any sound attribute. The sliders act much the same way as knobs. Loading a sound. Let's call up a sound to get an idea of how the SoundMaker program works. To do so, 1. Turn the GameMaker disk over and insert the disk, label down, into your disk drive. 2. Select the File command. 3. Select the Load command. Loading catalog appears in the message line. When the catalog has loaded, move the joystick until you reach the harried sound and press the button. Harried is the losing sound you hear in the Pitfall game. 4. Select Yes to confirm that you want to load the harried sound. Let's listen to this sound. To do so, 1. Select the Hear command. 2. To stop the sound, select the Quiet command. Each part of the sound effect sequence you just heard was created separately in a frame, then the frames were put together in a sequence. The harried sound was created using 16 frames. Use SoundMaker to create single sounds in frames, then link them together to create one complete sound effect. Knobs and sliders. The SoundMaker program includes knobs and sliders to control the strength of the sound attributes. See the illustration on page 45. To move a knob, 1. Point to it and press the button. The value that is controlled by the knob, usually to the right of it, becomes highlighted. Push forward or pull back on the joystick to increase or decrease the numbers. Move the joystick left or right to increase or decrease the numbers quickly. 2. When you reach the number you want, press the button again. To move a slider, 1. Point to it and press the button. Move the joystick forward to move the slider up. The counter will change as you do so. Pull back on the joystick to lower the slider. Move the joystick left or right to increase or decrease the numbers quickly. 2. When you reach the number you want, press the button again. SoundMaker commands. The SoundMaker commands in the upper right corner of the SoundMaker board work in exactly the same way as the similar commands in the rest of the GameMaker program. Quit returns you to the GameMaker main menu. INS inserts a frame in the middle of a series of sounds. Del deletes the current SoundMaker frame. Copy copies a sound from one frame to another. CLR clears the sound effects board completely. You must confirm that you want the board cleared. If you don't save a sound effect, clearing the board will erase it permanently. Note, selecting this command erases all frames in a sound effect sequence. File presents another set of commands that handle various filing jobs. These work in exactly the same way as in the rest of the program. See the GameMaker editor section starting on page 17 for more information. Master controls. There are 5 master controls on your sound effects board. They are: repeats. The repeat control repeat sounds. It's controlled by the number knob and the delay knob. Set the number knob to determine how many times the sound will be repeated. Set the delay knob to tell GameMaker how much time to pause between repeats. Note, if you select here sound when repeat is set, SoundMaker will repeat the entire sound sequence over and over. If you select here frame when repeat is set, you'll hear a single frame repeated over and over. If you set the repeat knob at 255, the sound will repeat indefinitely. Equalizer. If you turn the equalizer on, it will remain on throughout the sound effect. The equalizer will filter the volume of any tone in the high, medium or low frequency range. When turned on, the volume level of the sound effect will lower. Use the sliders below the on/off switch to set the equalizer levels. Volume sets the volume for the entire sound effect. Speed sets the speed of the sound. Frame indicates which frame you're creating. The knob below it tells how many frames are used in the entire sound effect. You can have up to 511 frames to compose a single sound effect. SoundMaker controls wave. Choose between 4 different sound waves: noise, square, sawtooth, or triangle. The noise wave creates a hissing sound. The square wave creates a tone of varying timbres based on the pulse width. The sawtooth wave makes a tinny sound. The triangle wave makes a hollow sound. ATT, raise or lower the speed of the increase in volume at the beginning of a frame. DEC, raise or lower the speed with which a sound decreases after the attack. SUS, determines the volume of the duration portion of a frame. REL, stands for release. Controls how long it takes a sound to fade away. FRQ, controls the high and low frequency, or pitch, of a sound effect. The low frequency levels have a fine-tuning effect on the pitch. The high frequencies have more dramatic effects. SPD, raises or lowers the frequency of the sound effect at different speeds. The SPD control operates in 2 ranges. The values of 1 to 127 control how fast the frequency of the sound is raised from the bottom of the frequency to the top of the frequency. The values of 128, 255 control how fast the frequency of the sound is lowered from the top of the frequency to the bottom of the frequency. For example, setting the SPD value at 127 creates a quick sweeping sound from the bottom of the frequency range to the top of the range. Likewise, setting the SPD value at 255 creates a quick sweeping sound in the opposite direction, from the top of the frequency range to the bottom of the range. Setting the SPD value at 0 will not change the frequency during any given frame. PLS stands for pulse. Works only when using the square wave. Determines the width of the square wave. Raising or lowering this knob changes timbre. DIA stands for duration. Determines the amount of time a sound level will be maintained after the attack and decay, and before the release. Note, if you've programmed a sound effect, but you do not hear anything when you select Hear Sound, check to see if one of the following are set to 0, volume, duration, frequency, or pulse. TIE creates a smooth transition in sounds between frames. Hearing sound effects. The following commands let you hear the sound effects you create or load. They are: Hear Sound lets you hear the sequence of frames that make up the entire sound effect. Hear Frame lets you hear a single frame. Constant flashes when you point to it and press the button. It repeats the sound or frame indefinitely until turned off. When this command is turned on, the delay command works with it to make the sound faster or slower. To turn the command off, select it again. Note, turning on constant is an editing feature only. If you save a sound effect with this control turned on, the sound will not repeat indefinitely when you retrieve it. While in the constant mode, you can press the button to stop and edit any frame. The frame will appear on the screen, but the entire sound effect will keep playing. Quiet, select this command to stop a playing sound. We recommend you tinker a lot with the SoundMaker program. You'll be surprised at the sounds you can create. It also helps to look at the sounds already created to see how they were made. Remember to save any sound effects you create, or you'll lose them forever. See saving and loading on page 96. Well, I'd say that is the end of Chapter 5 of the Garry Kitchen's GameMaker book. I hope you have learned something. Now back to you, Charles.
And there you have it! Another chapter down the drain! Until next time, the next time is going to be the music maker. But we'll have to get that video ready for you. Till then, I'll see you later! Cut, Peter! Here, got my plunger. Let's get ready to go!